Good morning, everyone. I'm getting a later start. Had to run the number one farmhand to school. Which, on that subject, school has always been a fight. Not always, but for the last, since, I don't know, I think it's about the fourth grade we started having to fight him to get him to do schoolwork, and it's just been a struggle. And we've known, he's an intelligent kid. It's just getting that intelligence focused. So yesterday we get an email from the biology teacher, which he is retaking biology. Keep that in mind as this story goes on. And he had told us this information earlier in the week. And, of course, we, made a little bit of a deal out of it because it is a big deal. Well, he did it's end of course testing, and we thought at first it was the state testing, but I guess it's just for that class. And so, anyway, we get this email from his biology teacher, and his end of course score, I guess they don't give grades, but it was advanced. Which, like I said, it wasn't a surprise. But here's the surprising part. I've just mentioned he's retaking the class. And the reason he's taking the course is he failed it. Now, let that settle in for a minute. He scored advanced on his testing and still failed the class. Now, I understand why. He just didn't do the homework. But you would think, the school's job is to teach, and the kid's job is to learn, not necessarily do a bunch of homework, okay? Now, I'm not ragging on the teacher. She's a good person, and, but I think it's the general school system. Not to take anything away from Ethan's accomplishment. I mean, he did good, did excellent. He just, homework isn't his thing. Homework and writing things, there's something about writing. Of course, he was stubborn, and he wouldn't learn how to hold a pencil in a way that would make the writing easier for him. But anyway, he's his own worst enemy when it comes to school. But, my point here is, here's a kid that scores advanced in biology and who has to retake the course over again. I mean, like I already stated, isn't the job of the schools to teach? And they did their job in this case. It looks to me like they did their job, and he learned. So why is he having to take the class over again? Just because homework. He got the result they wanted, But anyway, I think we need to take a good hard look at our public school system. Of course, people have been saying this for years, and mostly they complain about it being dumbed down, and I don't think it's been dumbed down so much in our school. I know others, every school is different, but I don't think they've dumbed it down at our school. But, it just seems odd to me that a kid can be advanced in biology and still fail a class. I mean, I know a lot of this goes to learning work ethic and all of that. But, you know, anyway, so I guess I'll leave that there. I'm pretty proud that he scored advanced, you know. And yes, I would prefer that he do the homework, which, you know, getting this score, I think, has helped him. He also got a proficient score in his English class, which he's not having to retake. He did enough homework in there to not have to retake it. So anyway, I'm hoping that by doing this, it gives him a little boost in confidence and want to, you know, because life's all about having enough want to get the job done, you know. And that's the bottom line. If you don't want to, you're not going to do your best job. And if you're not doing your best job, then you're not going to achieve, you know. And that's just the way it is. You know, you can talk about goals and all this, but if you don't have the want to, the desire strong enough to drive you, to get you that drive, then, you know, just not going to do it. So I'm hoping that this gives him the drive, and he realizes what I've been telling him all along. Here's a funny thing. When he entered school, he found out about Albert Einstein and was fascinated with him for a while, a couple years or more. He started telling us that he was a genius. Ethan was a genius. That's what Ethan told us. He said, I'm a genius. So, you know, he did excellent in school when he was saying that. But something happened and he stopped saying that, and things took a turn for the worse. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here, and you can take from that whatever you want, and we'll talk to you after a bit. Well, there's Carrbanog, the killer bunny, in her new house. It's temporary until I get her an actual nest box. But she's got her water, she's got her feed. I give her a handful of clover, which she seems to like. And we'll probably move her back in the house, but, you know, I couldn't see leaving her in there. And she didn't have much room to move around in there. She could get out. We had a cover on it, but had to be weighted down. But anyway, I think she'll like it in here a lot better. Fresh air. This is a pretty shady spot in the yard. It's not the final spot for it. We're probably going to move it to a spot that's not quite so out in the way. But she's checking it all out. And these guys have had a growth spurt. They've gotten longer. It's hard to tell with her. She's hunched over rooting right now. There she is. She's going to stretch out a little bit for us. Yeah, stretched a lot. There. I wish they all were like her. Mother two aren't bad, but she definitely is the bigger. Well, good evening from Skittles and Butch. Yeah. Look at that boy. Chunky. I like it. This one here, she's putting on some weight. That's a good thing. It's got some green slobbers. She must have had some grass in her mouth or was chewing her cud. Alright, well, pretty good day today. Did some work in the house. Got Carrbanog in her own pen now. Need to make some adjustments, but we'll get her taken care of. Watered the pigs and the chickens and the dogs. Now I'm out here feeding the Skittles. Hope everybody else had a good day. The days are getting more comfortable around here. The only problem with that is it brings on the winter weather and all those issues, but I'm not going to worry about that at this point. Things is going to have to be done, but there's no reason to worry. I found that worrying about stuff usually leads to inactivity. You know, there's been times in my life when I worried about things so much that that's all I got done was worry. Well, what if? What if? What if? That's kind of different airplane. I don't know if y'all can see it. May not be different, may just be the way the light's hitting it, but anyway. It's not moving very fast. Anyhow, there's just worrying doesn't solve problems. You can't ignore your problems. Been there, done that. That doesn't work either. You just gotta. And this speech is as much to me as anybody else. Probably more so. You just got to get up and start doing. You know. You just got to get up and do it. Bottom line, right there, you just got to get up and do it. And, you know, that leads me about things that's happening in this country. You know, the inflation is getting outrageous. It's not getting, it is. I misspoke there. But, things are changing. Not for the better right now. Said I don't like feeling like I'm doom and gloom all the time. I mean, you know, just that's what I'm seeing. And you know, if you're not seeing it, you know, or if you think I'm wrong, I mean, I don't care. Let me know. Just don't be a rude jerk about it. You know. Things are getting tougher. So, I don't know. I just feel like for me and my family, we just got to do more for ourselves. You know, we're making changes, and a lot of these changes are slower than one, they should be, and two, I think they ought to be. But anyway, you know, there's been setbacks for us along the way. Minor ones, but just enough to eat up time and money. You know, we're getting things taken care of. We're moving forward. You know, sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 back, but we've still, at the end of the day, we've still made a little progress. I mean, this little girl here, she had us worried. I thought she was going to be a setback. She was a little bit of one, you know, but we got the vet involved, and it cost us $29 to get her back up on her feet. You know, and I was worried about a vet bill being outrageous, and, you know, They said, nope, here, take these shots, give them 2 or this away. And if that doesn't improve things, get back with us. Well, as you can see, it has improved things. Okay, all done. Now she's going to wipe her slobbers on me. She's like a 1 or 2 year old kid. Gets slobbers all over her face and then she's going to wipe them on you. No, I don't want your slobbers on me. But I got them on me anyway. I'm getting them everywhere. So, everybody's got to make decisions for themselves and their families. And that's what we're doing here. I guess that's one point. You gotta take care of you and yours first. I over the years I've been involved in charitable things, and you hear things, and a statement I've heard a lot is the ones who have the least give the most. And there's some truth in that. But the thing is even with that, you don't know, you just don't know what the person you're trying to get to give has already given. And I can tell you from my own experience, I get tired of, even if it is a good causes, I just get tired of being bombarded with, we need more money, give us more money, So, don't be quick to judge. Because you just don't know. And that leads me to people talking about greed. We're all greedy, just to different levels. I hear people talking about corporate greed. The company's making millions of dollars and blah, 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 and they ought to be able to pay us a better wage. And there's some truth there. Some companies underpay, but they also tend to not be the ones that do the best. Then again, on the other hand, we still like our food as cheap as we can get it. We like the products that we buy to be cheap. And in order to meet that, that's what companies do. They pay a low wage, or they send it overseas to be manufactured, so that they don't have to pay the huge minimum wage here. Think about it. The more you pay your workers, the more you have to get to make a profit. Everybody wants to make a profit. If you're working for a living, you are a business unto yourself. You've got to, you have to make a profit. You have to make enough money, or at least this is the way I look at it anyway. I need to make enough money that I can meet all of my needs and then have some left over for my wants. Now, I'm at a point in my life where, I understand that wants aren't the priority they used to be. I want a new Harley Davidson motorcycle, but I need to keep that old Dodge truck out there running. I need to keep a roof over my head. So, you know, as I say, as I said, you know, because we're all greedy. I see people that flies are bothering me. I've dealt with people that, and they pick and choose who they want to call greedy. Okay, this is pet peeve alert: sports, and I'm not talking your rec league sports. You know, your high school, junior high school football, basketball, that stuff. I'm not talking about that. There's some of this there, but you know, that's a rant for another day. And I'm not against those things, so don't go away thinking that. I think they serve a purpose. But anyway, I'm talking your professional sports, especially the big ones. You know, football, basketball, baseball. You know, they will talk about some big company executive. Just pick your own, and they'll talk about how greedy he is. And he puts all of this money in his pocket and blah blah blah. And, yep, he's greedy. Remember, just a bit ago I said we're all greedy. But then they will turn around and spend their Sunday night, well, whatever. It depends on your sport, of course, but they'll spend all their time parked in front of the TV watching their favorite sport in a jersey with their favorite player's name on it. A player that is probably already making more money per year than the person watching. And by buying that jersey, they're putting more money in that player's pocket. It doesn't make sense. How is that football player, just as an example, making $1 million a year less greedy than the company executive that's making $1 million a year? They're both making $1 million a year. We all know they don't need $1 million a year to live. But they're both willing to put in the work. Every wealthy person I've ever known, and I've not known any that, I've known some millionaires, but I've not known any multimillionaires. I've never met any rich football players, anything like that. But, they both, the executive and the football player both, do the work they need to do to get that money. An executive isn't just sitting there in the office with his feet up on a desk drinking bourbon and smoking cigars all day. They're not going to be making $1 million a year doing that very long. So, what's the difference? I don't see a difference. The football player works. If he wants to keep making $1 million a year, he's got to keep performing. The executive, he works, and he probably puts in more hours than the football player does. I mean, because those guys tend to never stop working. It's a different type of work. And but, I've known plant managers. Now, that's not an executive. Well, I guess it kind of is, but, those guys will put in 80 hours a week, and then if something goes wrong at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're there to see what needs to be done. But anyway, just think about that next time you start talking about greedy people. And there are greedy people in the world. Well, like I said, we're all greedy. We're all greedy. I mean, we know these people that they want to make $15 an hour flipping burgers at Burger King, McDonald's, whatever you want to think about. But they show up either just on time, or they're late, or they're always calling in, and they've always got an excuse why they're not trying. We've all been guilty of making excuses. I've done it. I still do it. I try not to, but it happens. But but they don't want to improve their skill set. I mean, there's a shortage of skilled labor in this country. And I'm talking labor that makes good money. You want to make better money, learn skills. They need people to do concrete work. It's hard work. Hard work. There's people needed in all the building trades. There's a shortage. Go learn how to be a mechanic. And you can start out, watch YouTube videos. You can't learn everything from doing that, but you can get a start. Start working on your car, save you some money. Fix it instead of throwing it away and going and buying another one. Another rant for another day. But that's the deal. Instead of, put your greed to work. I have those of you who know me, this is going to shock you. Not really. I've got a lazy streak. Yeah. And it bites me in the rear end quite often. But I learned a long time ago that the best way to be lazy on a job is to always get the job done. Just get in, get it done. The boss comes around, hey, you done with that? Yep. Oh, well, then he's got to go find you something else to do. So just go get it done. Problem solved. Then you become a more valued employee. And then you've got skills. You've learned how to do different things. Don't say it's not my job. Somebody's paying you in a factory. Every job in that factory is your job. You don't have to like it. I've done a lot of jobs I don't like, but anyway. So put your liabilities to work for you, I guess, is another thing. But, like I said, it's a pet peeve of mine, people calling other people greedy when they're just as guilty of being greedy as anybody else. So I guess I'm going to wind this up here. Didn't really intend to get off on that rant. So, if you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have already, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'd like to get just one more subscriber here real quick. So if you're watching this far and you haven't subscribed, I'm about to hit 2 goals. This video will hit one of them. 250 videos I've put out. And I need one more subscriber to get 170 subscribers. So somebody do me that favor. I'd kind of like to hit both of those pretty close together. And it's just something I'd like to see happen. I don't get anything special for it but I would like to see it happen pretty close together. So, all of that being said, let's look out for each other. Let's help each other when we can. And let's pray. That's the most important part of this. Let's pray. If you got to pray for yourself, pray for yourself. You need help once in a while. Lord knows I do. And, I owe everything that I've accomplished, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a whole hell of a lot, but I owe it all to the good Lord. So, we'll catch y'all later.